Okay, bros. We are here for your weekly NXT Fix, featuring the ever so popular Bro Ratings. Now, here's your host. Okay, bros, I'm your host, Jimmy the Gibson, and we're here for a very special episode of your weekly NXT Fix. This episode will include the ever so popular Takeover predictions at the end of this video. So if you want to find out exactly what's going to happen, Takeover 36, SummerSlam weekend, tune in to the end of this video. But this week, NXT, we get started right off the bat, in-ring, Malcolm Bivens and Diamond Mine. And they say, you know what? Kushida is a liar, and Kushida is a coward. So it's open challenge season. Who's going to step up to Roderick Strong? Roderick Strong in the ring, and his challenger none other than Ilja Dragunov from the NXT UK. And bros, these two guys put on a hell of a match. Brutal. Roddy was chopping Ilya's chest so hard it was all red, blood vessels broken up. Then at one point in time, Ilja Dragunov was going for the triple suplex while holding him. And during one of the suplexes, I believe that when he went back, Roderick Strong landed so hard on the bridge of his nose, busted Ilja Dragunov wide open, crimson mask, looked absolutely brutal. Then he hit Roddy with the gotch lift, and he was getting ready to go for the Torpedo Moscow, but Roderick Strong countered with a big knee to the face, looked brutal with all the blood, and then right after that, Roddy picked up Dragunov, threw him against the ropes, and Dragunov came back and hit the Torpedo Moscow for the 1, 2, 3. Ilja Dragunov, your winner, and just a fantastic matchup this week in NXT. So, bros, we're going to give this opening contest a 8.4 on the Bro Ratings. Moving on. We then have your prime target of Adam Cole, baby, versus Kyle O'Reilly coming up at TakeOver 36. And it is being deemed the undisputed finale. Who will win? Kyle O'Reilly or Adam Cole, baby? Cole versus O'Reilly 3 coming up at TakeOver. It's going to be epic. Next up, we have an in-ring interview with Hit Row. And if you didn't know, now you know. Well, naturally, they're calling out Santos Escobar, Legado del Fantasma. Escobar jumps on the big screen, and he says, you know what? Swerve, how about we settle this man-to-man? Come out to the NXT parking lot. And naturally, I'm watching this, and I'm like, no, don't do it, Swerve. The NXT parking lot is the most dangerous place in all of professional wrestling. But Swerve didn't listen to me, nor his fellow comrades in Hit Row. He went to the parking lot. And who's out there besides Santos Escobar? Raul Mendoza, Joaquin Wilde, jump Swerve from behind. But Hit Row gets right out there. Top Dollar, Shanti the Adonis, even Beef Fab with like a baseball bat or something. They take out Legado del Fantasma. Swerve gets his grill back. End of segment. But there are still matches to be had amongst these two teams. Still a major feud in NXT. However, since it's an in-ring segment, we're going to give this a rating. It just didn't need to be an in-ring segment, in my opinion. With that being said, we're going to give this one a 7.0 on the Bro Ratings. Now, it may have gotten even less, but there was some pretty cool violence in the parking lot, throwing people into the door, over the car and stuff. So that part was pretty cool. Moving on. We then have L.A. Knight, and he says he's going to miss this with Cameron Grimes being his butler. But you know what? You can't get any better than the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, as your own personal butler. Phenomenal. And that leads us right into our next match. Josh Briggs, who we find out was paid off by L.A. Knight to put a beating on Cameron Grimes. So it's Josh Briggs, big guy from the NXT Breakout tournament, versus L.A. Knight's personal butler, Cameron Grimes. And at commentary, we had L.A. Knight and we had the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Now, Josh Briggs, up-and-coming guy, big man. Cameron Grimes still wrestling in his butler outfit. It was almost a squash match. I mean, Josh Briggs got some offense in early, but Cameron Grimes really put a beating to him. Just towards the end, it was real quick. That Spanish fly move he does against the rope. Cave in, 1, 2, 3. Cameron Grimes is your winner. LA Knight runs over there, takes out Cameron Grimes on the outside, punches Ted DiBiase, and that's our build-up to TakeOver. I don't think this even needed to be done, personally. The build-up was already there, already enough. I don't think he needed either one of them to wrestle this week. Could have given that spot to someone else, personally. So, with that being said, bros, we're going to give this one a 7.1 on the bro ratings. Moving on. Johnny and Candace are grossed out about Index. And Johnny asked Dexter, "How did that cake taste to you, you weirdo?" And Indi said, "Well, you know what? He loved it. As a matter of fact, he still had room for pie." As I slowly walk away, leaning back into the bushes, Johnny and Candace didn't understand it, which was hilarious, but moving on. Zoe Stark and Io Shirai clearly have some work to do, and Io says, "Look, I still don't like you, but it's all about defending these titles." And speaking of tag team match, we then had a mixed tag team match. It was Jessi Kamea and Robert Stone, yes, Robert Stone Wrestling, with Frankie Monet, of course, versus Indi Hartwell, Dexter Lumis in Dex. And this was just a complete comedic match. Not much of any substance happened in this match, other than the hilarious antics of Robert Stone. He did like a top rope dive and just fell flat on the floor. Absolutely hilarious. But it was Indi Hartwell that locked on the slam to Jessi Kamea and got her to choke out the Dexter Lumis move. Jessi Kamea tapped out. Index are your winners. And after this match, Indi Hartwell goes to see Beth Phoenix and grabs a ring, gets down on one knee, and proposes to Dexter Lumis, who said yes by shaking his head. And there you have it. Index is taking their relationship to the next level. Bros, with that being said, let's not forget about the hilarious antics of Robert Stone. So we're going to give this match a 7.4 on the bro ratings. Moving on to your 1 minute figure review. Okay, bros, here's your figure that we're going to be talking about today. It is the NXT Takeover Andrade Cien Almas. Check this out. I think it's a pretty good face sculpt. As you can tell, Andrade, that's some early days of his NXT run. And as you can see here, he made his NXT debut on January 8th, 2016. In this set, he comes with the Bailey Buddy, or the whacking, waving, inflatable arm flailing tube man. But Andrade really turned out a great NXT career. He was always kind of a top talent, kind of floating around the mid-card there, and then he shot up the rankings and won the NXT Championship. Andrade, NXT TakeOver figure. Now back to me. And we're back! NXT action continues this week. Very important sit-down interview. Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai And this was an interview done by Beth Phoenix from the announce table. Obviously, they were in two separate locations. And Dakota Kai starts off, starting off with the insults and says, "Wow, big words from Big Mommy Cool." Thought that was hilarious. And Raquel Gonzalez says, "Look, you know what? You can write whatever narrative you want about me. Fact of the matter is I'm a dominant champion, and I'm going to still be champion after TakeOver." And Dakota Kai says, "Look, call me what you want. Call me a villain. Call me a jealous bitch. Whatever you want. Just make sure you remember to call me champion after TakeOver." And Raquel Gonzalez says, "Okay, you are delusional, Dakota." Or should I say, sidekick. Thought that was awesome. Great sit-down interview between the two. Next, in-ring action, we have the Breakout Tournament, round number 2, semifinal match, Carmelo Hayes versus Duke Hudson. That's right, 6'5" Duke Hudson. But Carmelo Hayes has that ruthless aggression in him. And one spot in particular in this match looked absolutely brutal. Carmelo Hayes was going for a slingshot DDT from inside the ring onto the apron. He kind of overshot Duke Hudson and had to turn around on his other arm. Duke Hudson looked like he fell on his head or neck right on that edge of the ring apron and slipped under the ring. Looked absolutely brutal. I wonder if that played a part into the finish of the match. Shortly thereafter, Carmelo Hayes hit the top rope, axe kick leg drop onto Duke Hudson for the 1, 2, 3. After the match, they say, "Carmelo Hayes, got a big test in you in the finals here against Odyssey Jones." Carmelo says, "All the guys I've faced in this tournament have been big men. Josh Briggs, Duke Hudson, so I'm fine with that." Odyssey Jones comes out and he's like, let's go. Let's do this. Can't wait for it. It's going to be fun. So there's your final matchup set. This match, however, tonight, Carmelo Hayes and Duke Hudson is going to get a 7.7 on the Bro ratings. Moving on, we have a video package of Jessi Jane. Jessi Jane says, "We will not be silenced, and you are going to feel us in your soul when we break free." So clearly, Gigi Dolan, Jessi Jane, they're working together. Now, that's perfect because you need to build up women's tag teams in this division. Speaking of tag teams, our next match was the NXT Tag Team Championship. It was MSK versus Imperium. And Imperium also accompanied to the ring by Walter, your current NXT UK champion. And bros, this was a great match between these two teams. The only thing I didn't care much for was towards the end, Walter caused a distraction. Too many distractions, NXT. Pay attention here. And that allowed Imperium to get the upper hand. They were going for their top rope powerbomb into the uppercut, into the powerbomb move. And who comes out? None other than Ilja Dragunov. And he starts beating away at Walter. Walter slams him down on the entrance ramp. Well, that then distracted Imperium. So there was 2 distractions in this match. Then MSK hit their blockbuster move. 1, 2, 3. Your winners, and still NXT Tag Team Champions, MSK. After the match, Walter just obliterated everyone. Powerbombing MSK onto the ring apron, chops, clotheslines, took out Draganov. It was absolutely brutal. So, Tag Team Championship match, we're going to give that one a 7.9 on the Bro ratings. Moving on to our final in-ring segment, it is your face-to-face. We've got Samoa Joe and Karrion Kross. Now, this has been weeks, if not months, in the making here. This build-up for the NXT Championship. Well, Joe gets the ring first and he says, "Karrion Kross, it's time to stroll your ass down here, young champion." Kross comes down here. He says, "Joe, this isn't about me. This isn't about you. This is about NXT as a brand. You're over 1 year removed from being in the ring, and you think you can walk right in here and take the NXT Championship? Well, you've got another thing coming, because you got a problem at Takeover, and that's me. As a matter of fact, I'm calling security out here, and security is not protection for me. It's protection for you, because I think I'm going to drop you. And I think I'm going to drop you real fast at Takeover. And naturally, a brawl ensues. They're beating up each other. Joe dives onto the security. Then they start pushing each other through the plexiglass walls and the cage on the NXT arena. They go through a second one, and both men are knocked out, laying down. And what is going to happen at Takeover? And that's where your show ends. Pretty decent in-ring segment, I thought, just because of the physicality and the strong words between the two, Joe versus Kross, your main event at Takeover 36. With that being said, bros, this segment is going to get a 7.5 on the bro ratings. So that means your match of the night was actually the first match of the evening. It was Roderick Strong versus Ilya Dragunov. Absolutely, by far, better than anything on this show, which I thought was just a kind of average go-home episode leading into Takeover. But we know Takeover is going to be awesome. So we had 7 matches or in-ring segments this evening, giving us an average of 7.57. So there you have it. I'm going to put a sock in it until next time. But wait, there are some very important predictions for Takeover predictions. Takeover 36. Okay, bros. I wish we had a little more time to go into depth in each match. We're going to do that on the Takeover video after the event has happened. But one match additional has been announced for your pre-show, and that is going to be Ridge Holland, and he will defeat Trey Baxter on the pre-show. Now, we have 4 championship matches and 1 absolutely crazy grudge match, the undisputed finale. So, we'll run through the card here, give you Jimmy the Gibson's guaranteed predictions. Guaranteed, at least most of this will happen. So, for the $1 million championship, it will be Cameron Grimes will defeat LA Knight and take that $1 million championship to the moon, because it's Grimes time. And then, for your NXT Women's Championship, it will be Raquel Gonzalez will defeat Dakota Kai. I think that's going to be a pretty awesome match between the two. And in what could very well be the match of the night, for the NXT UK Championship. I know Blackpool's not going to be happy with my prediction right here, but it will be Walter will defeat Ilja Dragunov and extend his reign of over 800 days as champion. Keep an eye on that match for match of the night. Then, for your NXT Championship match, it will be Samoa Joe will defeat Karrion Kross and new NXT champion. And in the 2 out of 3 falls match, the wrestling match, the street fight, and you know they're going to a cage match, guaranteed going to be 3 falls. Your winner of the undisputed finale will be none other than Adam Cole, baby! Will defeat Kyle O'Reilly and send him packing. Send him packing to where? I don't know. But Adam Cole's going to win that major matchup. So there you have it, bros. That is Jimmy the Gibson's predictions for Takeover 36. So with that being said, please like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Thank you so much for watching. I'm your host, Jimmy the Gibson. Let's get ready for Takeover 36. Later, bros.